finally, the moment we've all been waiting for is here. Sean Diddy Combs has just been arrested in Manhattan following a grand jury indictment. This shocking development comes after months of swirling allegations and lawsuits against the music mogul. And now, things are more serious than ever. Not only that, but the feds also found 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant from his house. Aren't all of his kids grown? What on earth was he planning to do with all of that baby oil? That's just disgusting. But hold on, it gets even wilder. Usher, Diddy's longtime protege and one of the most iconic names in R&B, may be caught up in this mess too. The latest rumors suggest that Usher could be named in Diddy's legal fallout, and the implications are massive. So what exactly is going on? We all know what the diddler did, but why are they arresting him now instead of back then in March? And how could Usher be involved? And most importantly, what could this mean for the future of these two? We've got all the shocking details coming up, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of it. This story is deeper and darker than anyone could have imagined. Back in May, federal investigators began ramping up their scrutiny of Diddy after multiple accusers stepped forward with lawsuits, accusing him of a range of disturbing behavior. One of the first to file was Crystal McKinney, a former model who accused Diddy of drugging and assaulting her at his recording studio in 2003. But McKinney's lawsuit was just the tip of the iceberg. Just days later, April Lamprose came forward with a jaw-dropping lawsuit of her own. Lamprose's claims were even more horrifying, alleging that Diddy assaulted her multiple times between 1995 and 2001, with incidents ranging from assault to being forced to take drugs. This flood of allegations prompted federal investigators to start looking deeper into Diddy's past, and by the end of May, they were considering calling his accusers to testify before a grand jury. As the months rolled on, it became clear that Diddy's legal troubles weren't going away. Behind the scenes, investigators were building a case, interviewing witnesses, and gathering evidence. But then, a bombshell dropped in March. Homeland Security agents raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami. The raids, which reportedly stemmed from a human trafficking investigation, sent shockwaves through the industry. What were they looking for? No one knew for sure, but the speculation was wild. The raids were a sign that Diddy's empire was starting to crumble. For years, he had been able to dodge serious consequences, thanks to his wealth, power, and influence. But now, with federal agents combing through his properties, it seemed like the walls were closing in. The media frenzy that followed was intense, with everyone waiting to see if Diddy would be charged. Still, no formal charges had been filed, until now. And then, on September 16th, it happened. Diddy was indicted by a grand jury and arrested in Manhattan.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct.
Diddy's legal team has been quick to downplay the severity of the situation, with his attorneys calling the lawsuits against him baseless and money grabs. But with federal prosecutors involved and a grand jury deciding to indict, it's clear that this is no longer just a civil matter. Criminal charges are very much on the table. Throughout all of this, Diddy has denied any wrongdoing. His team has worked hard to paint the lawsuits and allegations as nothing more than attempts to extort money from a rich and famous celebrity. They've called the claims sickening and outrageous, insisting that Diddy is innocent. But as more and more women come forward, the denials are starting to sound hollow. At what point does the weight of all these accusations become too much to ignore? What makes this even more complicated is that Diddy has settled some of these lawsuits in the past, including one filed by his former personal chef, Cindy Rueda, who claimed he harassed her inappropriately in 2017. While Diddy didn't admit to any wrongdoing in that case, the settlement raised eyebrows and added to the perception that he was trying to avoid a public trial. Now, with criminal charges looming, a settlement won't be enough to get him off the hook. One thing is clear. This is the biggest legal threat Diddy has faced in his career. If convicted, he could be looking at serious jail time, and his entire empire, from Bad Boy Records to his various business ventures, could crumble. But this isn't just about Diddy anymore. The allegations have expanded beyond just one man, dragging in other high-profile names like Usher. Could Usher's reputation be tarnished by his association with Diddy? And if the feds are digging into Diddy's past, How many more people in his circle could be implicated? The drama is just getting started. According to sources close to the investigation, Usher could be named in the ongoing federal case. It's still unclear whether he will be called as a witness or if he could face charges himself. But this revelation has stunned fans and insiders alike. Usher and Diddy's relationship goes way back, with Diddy practically acting as a mentor to the young Usher as he made his way into the music industry. But what most people didn't know is that Usher may have witnessed and possibly even turned a blind eye to some of the darkest moments in Diddy's life. The most explosive claim comes from none other than Don Richard, a former member of Danity Kane, who is now pointing the finger directly at Usher. According to the lawsuit, Usher was present on multiple occasions when Diddy allegedly abused Cassie, his longtime girlfriend. In one chilling incident, Don Richard claims that Usher sat by and did nothing while Diddy physically assaulted Cassie at a private dinner in front of a room full of celebrities. Yes, you heard that right. Usher, the same man who built his image on respecting women, reportedly watched as Diddy hit Cassie and didn't even flinch. This has sent shockwaves through the fan community. Usher's fans have always seen him as a positive, uplifting figure in the music industry, someone who had distanced himself from the scandals that have followed other artists. But now, the image is crumbling. Could Usher have been complicit in covering up Diddy's abusive behavior all these years? And if he knew about it, why didn't he do anything to stop it? To understand how Usher fits into all of this, we need to go back to the beginning. Usher was only 13 years old when he was sent to live with Diddy at what was then known as Puffy Flavor Camp. The camp, meant to be a place where young artists could learn the ropes of the music industry, was actually shrouded in secrecy and rumors of wild parties and inappropriate behavior. Usher has been incredibly tight-lipped about his time there, but in one interview with Howard Stern, he hinted that things were far from innocent. In that interview, Usher described the atmosphere as one of constant partying, with chicks and orgies going on around him. He was still just a teenager, but he admitted to seeing things he couldn't fully comprehend at the time. While he tried to downplay his involvement, it was clear that something wasn't right. And now, with these new allegations from Don Richard, it's starting to look like Usher may have seen much more than he's ever let on. Fans are struggling to reconcile the Usher they've admired for years with the one now caught up in this scandal. How could someone who has consistently spoken about the importance of respecting women have stayed silent when witnessing abuse? Social media has been flooded with comments from fans expressing their disappointment and disbelief. One fan wrote, "I just don't understand how Usher could sit there and watch Cassie get hurt. I thought he was different." Another commented, "I feel like my whole perception of Usher has changed. Was he covering for Diddy all this time?" But it's not just fans who are upset. Legal experts are now speculating about whether Usher could become a key witness, or even a co-defendant in the ongoing legal cases against Diddy. If it's proven that Usher knew about the abuse and did nothing to stop it, he could face serious consequences. And with rumors swirling that more victims might come forward, Usher's involvement in this scandal could go deeper than anyone expected. As the legal battle against Diddy heats up, all eyes are now on Usher. Will he continue to stay silent, or will he be forced to take the stand and testify about what he knows? And more importantly, will this scandal destroy the clean-cut image Usher has carefully crafted over decades? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, Usher's reputation is hanging by a thread, and the drama is far from over. But hold on a minute, if you thought the allegations against Usher and the Diddler couldn't get any worse, wait until you hear about Cassie's story. Cassie Ventura, Diddy's longtime girlfriend, has come forward with a series of shocking claims that paint a disturbing picture of their relationship. Remained largely silent, but now that the grand jury indictment is out and Diddy's dark past is being dragged into the light, she's speaking up, and the details are chilling. In her lawsuit, Cassie accused Diddy of not only physical and emotional abuse, but also controlling every aspect of her life. According to her, Diddy kept her under his thumb for years, isolating her from her friends and family, and even monitoring her professional decisions. She has said that Diddy's need for power and control over her was terrifying, but that's not even the worst of it. One of the most disturbing incidents described in her lawsuit occurred in 2016, when a video surfaced showing Diddy attacking Cassie in a hotel hallway. The footage, which Cassie described as a nightmare, shows Diddy grabbing, dragging, and kicking her while she was helpless. And here's where things get even more scandalous. Usher, among other celebrities, was allegedly present during some of these violent episodes, and yet no one intervened. This has left many questioning the loyalty and integrity of those who knew what was going on behind the scenes but chose to stay silent. Cassie's lawsuit goes beyond just the physical abuse. It paints a portrait of Diddy as a man who craved absolute control over her life. She claims that Diddy would dictate everything from her music career to her personal relationships, and when she tried to break free, he would use intimidation and manipulation to pull her back in. One of the most shocking claims involves Diddy allegedly paying $50,000 to a hotel to cover up the surveillance footage of his attack on Cassie, proving just how far he was willing to go to keep his image intact. But Cassie wasn't the only one trapped in Diddy's web. Several women have come forward with similar allegations of abuse, manipulation, and exploitation. Some of these claims date back to the early 2000s, with accusers stating that Diddy used his power in the industry to coerce women into compromising situations. What's even more disturbing is the pattern of behavior. Diddy's accusers consistently describe a man who was fixated on maintaining control and exerting dominance over those around him, whether through physical violence or psychological games. Cassie's story has also shed light on the broader culture of silence in the music industry. For years, rumors about Diddy's behavior swirled, but no one came forward. Celebrities, music executives, and even close friends of Diddy all remained silent as the accusations piled up. Now, with Cassie's lawsuit out in the open, people are starting to ask hard questions. How many people knew? How many turned a blind eye? And, more disturbingly, why did no one step in to help? This is no longer just about Diddy. It's about an entire system that allowed his actions to go unchecked for so long. Everyone is demanding accountability, not just from Diddy, but from the people who enabled him. As these allegations continue to mount, the fallout for Diddy is becoming more severe by the day. His once untouchable empire is beginning to show cracks. Brands are cutting ties, business partners are distancing themselves, and the legal cases are piling up. And while Diddy's legal team continues to deny all the claims against him, it's becoming increasingly difficult to ignore the sheer volume of allegations. The industry itself is now under scrutiny. With Diddy's dark past coming to light, more people are questioning how such behavior could have gone unchallenged for so long. Cassie's bravery in coming forward has opened the floodgates for other victims, and many are wondering who might be next to speak up. In the court of public opinion, Diddy's legacy is already in ruins. But as these lawsuits progress, we'll see if the legal system finally holds him accountable for years of alleged abuse and manipulation. And with so many prominent figures linked to him, like Usher, T.D. Jakes, and even Jay-Z, it's clear that this scandal will have far-reaching consequences for the entire music industry, and it may never be the same again. Do you think Usher knew more than he's letting on? And will the diddler get a possible life sentence for all his crimes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more updates. As always, thank you for tuning in to Goja Gossip.